Yo, what is up, everybody? Hope everybody can hear me. We're going to start the game in about 5 minutes. I got a fancy little countdown timer right there. So we will start in about 5 minutes. Trying to get all my screen set up so I can not only play the game, but also respond to comments. People leave comments. Hope everybody's having a good start to your Friday. We have financial trivia coming to you live in about 4 minutes. Once again, happy Friday. My name is Mike. I run the Frugal Fam YouTube channel and trying to add this little live stream every Friday. Kind of switch things up a bit. Usually do scripted videos. Sometimes I think they can get a little robotic, so this is just something to kind of spice things up, keep things fresh, and hopefully grow the channel. So start the weekend off with some trivia, and not just any trivia, do some financial trivia, hopefully learn something new. But I always feel like trivia is a fun way, I don't know, a fun way to kind of kill some time. So if you're watching this, then appreciate you joining the stream, and hope you have a good weekend, good start to your weekend. Looks like we have what do we have? One person. I think it's just me so far. Not a problem. I'll full screen this bad boy. And we'll start in about 1 minute. And if you see me kind of looking all over the place, I have multiple devices open right now. We have the old cell phone. Shout out to Samsung Galaxy users. I'm probably the only person within my friend circle that has a Samsung Galaxy. And then over here we have our Apple product. We have our iPad. So I'm going to be using this to watch the chats. If we even get chats, who knows? I think our record so far is we've had 3 people at once in the game, and then only one person has actually played versus me. Cool. All right, so without further ado, step number 1 is have to log into the actual game. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna log in. And if you're watching at home right now, you can also play along. All you have to do is follow the instructions that are on the screen. It says one person's in the chat. I think that's just me, but that's okay. So still experimenting with the time slot here. I know it's kind of an awkward time. 4 p.m. on the East Coast. You know, most people are getting ready to wrap up work. And then on the West Coast, it's like just after lunchtime. So it's kind of an odd time, but still kind of experimenting. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the game twice. So we'll do the whole game once, probably take maybe like a 5-10 minute intermission, and then we'll run it back again, and we'll see if we can get a few, maybe a second wave of viewers to play. So hoping if we push it back, hoping if there's a second game, maybe more people will be able to play because they are just getting out of work. So right now I am logging in. This is the Kahoot app. Let's see if you can see it. And you don't need to do it on your phone. You can also do it on your desktop. It's just kahoot.it. And then all you got to do is type in the PIN number. 6373. And then give yourself a nickname. Cool. It looks like I am in the game. And it looks like I am the only one playing. But that's okay. Hoping if we keep this consistent every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, hoping that over time it will kind of grow and catch on, and people will want to play. Also, it's weird in YouTube, if you're not into the big YouTube scene, YouTube has different milestones. So, for instance, when you hit like the 100 subscriber milestone, you get your own custom URL link. And so I'm not quite there. I'm at 62 subscribers. But the reason I brought that up is at different milestones, they give you like different perks and like tools you can use in YouTube. So one of the perks, I forget how many subscribers you need, but when you reach that threshold, they give you like a breakdown of when your audience is mostly online. So Monday through Sunday, what hours of the day do most of your viewers watch the channel? So I think over time, once I get to that point, I'll be able to actually see when most people are watching. And then maybe instead of doing it on Friday, we'll adjust it so more people can play. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. And we're going to change this. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right, so I also forgot to say, sorry, my mustache is getting kind of long. It's like tickling my face. So this is financial trivia. The first 5 questions are just going to be warm-up questions. So the reason for that is in case people want to join late, they still can, and they're not going to miss the actual finance part of it. So the first 5 questions are just going to be general trivia questions. I mean, I would say they're probably the more fun questions. So Yeah, we'll start off with this one. The This one I actually didn't know. This I found on the website. So it's asking what is the rarest M&M color? And so what let's see here. Right. And so how this is going to work, the first since the first five are warm up, I don't want to have a head start over someone else that joins. So I'm actually going to get the first five wrong on purpose. And then once we start the financial section, that's when I'll start actually playing the game. So, yeah, if you didn't know, the rarest M&M color is actually brown, which is kind of cool. Did not know that. Moving on to question two. Yeah, so this is cool. It gives you like a score breakdown in between the questions. Question two: what is the first soft drink? Excuse me. What was the first soft drink in space? So you can choose from one of those sodas that are listed on the screen. And I think Serge, you can kind of tell what my age is. So if you're watching this and you have no idea what Surge is, then you probably were born after 2000. But yeah, Surge was like a really big. I don't know if you want to equate it to like Mountain Dew, but it's like Mountain Dew, but it I would equate it to a similar version of Mountain Dew, but like back in the 90s, it was big. A few more seconds. And again, I'm going to get the first five wrong on purpose. And then once we start doing the financial section, then we'll start playing. So yeah, Coca-Cola. What was the first soft drink in space? It was Coke. Fun little fact for you guys. Cool. Moving on. I'm still at zero. No problemo. Yeah, this was an interesting one too. Did not know this. So, which country invented ice cream? There's a lot of countries to choose from, but I only gave you four options. So, this one, if I didn't, well, to start off, I did not know the answer to this. So this is new information. But if I was looking at this fresh and I had to choose from four of these options, I don't know. It would be tough. It would be tough. But I probably would not have chose the right answer because I would say I was pretty surprised by what the answer was to this. Yeah, and I think that was the answer I was leaning to. So had I not had I had no knowledge of this, I probably would have guessed the U.S. Um, Maybe Iceland, but I feel like Iceland was thrown in there to like trick you. But I would probably lean more towards the U.S. But yeah, fun fact: China invented ice cream. So maybe the next time you play trivia, that'll be a question that you actually know now. Cool. Moving on. So I think we've two more questions from the general category, and then we're gonna dive into the actual financial questions. From which country does Gouda cheese originate? And I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I feel like I knew what like a slice of Gouda looked like, but seeing a wheel of it, like the one that's in the picture, that really kind of threw me off because I was like, wow, it kind of looks like a Pac-Man or a Mrs. Pac-Man. But the thing is humongous. I wonder how many pounds that is. It's probably got to be. I would guess by looking at that picture, I would guess it's probably like 15 pounds. but I don't know. Yeah, so the Netherlands invented Gouda cheese. Pretty crazy. Did not know that. So let's see here. You guys can see my program. I'm using Streamlabs. So trying out a new type of streaming software. So far, pretty good reviews. There's just a learning curve. So just trying to learn how to use it. So to make the stream a little more enjoyable, you know. All right. Which is the only edible food that never goes bad? So this one I actually knew. I knew the answer to this. Yeah, so I'm gonna give. I put a minute on the clock, and the reason for that is I know there's a slight lag between the streaming software and then YouTube. So I'm hoping the extra time allows you to answer in time. Yeah, so this is funny. So I knew, yeah, I knew honey was the answer. I thought McDonald's fries was kind of humorous because anyone who's ever found McDonald's fries like under their car seat, literally like years later, I feel like they don't go bad. That being said, imagine how I don't know, imagine what it does to your body if you ate McDonald's like that. I don't know. I can only take it and like only take so much of it. Cool, frugal fam. All right, so now we are gonna dive into the actual financial trivia. So here we go. All right, so now I'm gonna start playing as if. Let me rewind. So the questions that I let's see here. So the questions I found are all from a quiz online. So I'm gonna be answering as if this was the first time I took the quiz. So I did get questions wrong, and you'll see that as I play. But hopefully you read the question. All right, first one correct. All right, so if we, I'm gonna, and I'm also gonna switch to Excel, but yeah. So basically, so suppose you have $100 in your savings account and you get 2% interest a year. So when I think of this, if you ever go out to eat at like a restaurant, I know so many people have trouble figuring out like what to leave the waiter for a tip, and I know you can use your cell phone, but an easy way for me is if you're sitting down at a table, you're eating at a restaurant, and you have $100 bill. If you want to leave the waiter 10%, all you have to do is move the decimal place over one. So 10%, move the decimal place over to the left one spot. 10% of 100 is $10, right? So if you want 20% tip, if $10 is 10%, then times it by 2, and that's 20%. So a $20 bill would represent a 20% tip. And so if you want 1%, if 10%, if $10 represents $10, sorry, if $10 represents 10% of 100, all you have to do is move the decimal place over 1 again. So 1% of 100 is $1. And so this is saying 2%. So what's $1 times 2? $2, right? So process of elimination, after 1 year, at a 2% interest rate per year, that means every year you're $100, you're going to get $2. And then the next year, you're going to get 2% of 102. So the answer is going to be more than 102. And I'm going to try to prove it to you right now. So this is the fancy formula I have. So if you've ever taken a financial course, like an intro to finance course, you learn about present value and future value. So basic idea is you have $100 in your savings account. You get 2% per year. And how much is it going to be after 5 years? Right? So we know that after 1 year, you're going to grow by $2, right? So this 100 this yellow box, after 1 year, this is going to read 102, right? Just like we said. Now at year 2, you take 2% of 102. So after 2 years, it's going to go to that. So this is just saying after 5 years, is it going to be more or less than $102? And so after 5 years, using this formula, we can see that your initial $100 is going to be about $110 after 5 years. So hopefully that wasn't that was a long-winded way of giving my answer, but I hope that helps. So just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to figure out the streaming software. So here we go. All right, there we go. All right, let's move on. All right, I am on the board. And let's just check real quick. Let's see if we have anybody in the chat. Sorry guys, be patient with me. I'm just trying to All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, back to it. Back to the game. All right. So some more finance questions. So imagine that the interest rate on your savings account is 1% a year, and then inflation is 2%. After 1 year, would the money in the account buy more than it does today, exactly the same, or less than today? Cool. Yeah, so I think there's a formula for calculating the inflation rate. You don't need it in this example, but basically the idea is you put your money in savings, you get 1% a year in interest, but inflation is going up by 2%. So the cost the cost of the cost of the prices and goods that are in the economy are rising faster than the value of your money is worth. That's the basic gist here. So interesting, but yeah, we'll move on. Look at that, got some points. Like I said, looks like we have somebody in the live stream. Just want to welcome. Hope you're having a good Friday. Just so you know, I created a quiz that I found online, and so right now what we're doing is we are basically just going through the quiz, and so I'm going to answer as if this was my first time looking at the quiz. So I'm not going to get 100% on this because I did get a few of these wrong. So on this question, and I should also say that you can join the game at any time. Just follow the instructions that are in the pink box on the screen. But the question here is, if interest rates rise, what will typically happen to bond prices? So if you tuned in last week I did a video and I talked a little bit about bonds. And I'm pretty sure I talked about this, but I'll go over it again. Cool. So bond prices and then interest rates are inversely proportional, meaning when the interest rates rise, the price of bonds go down, right? And so to illustrate this, I'm gonna jump back into the quiz, but I just want to kind of show you how this works. So question number 8. So I know there's a lot going on here, but this white box here is basically the formula for calculating the price of the bond, how much the bond is worth. So there's two different scenarios. There's this blue box and then there's the green box, right? So I can just go over this very quickly. So saying that given some assumptions, if a bond is $1,000 and it pays an annual coupon of 5%, sorry, semi-annual, and it matures in 2 years, what's the price of the bond going to be using this formula, right? So I converted everything over here. So since it pays a semi-annual coupon, that means that 5% is split up twice, so 2.5, and then 2 years would be 4 periods, so 2 periods a year. So, anyways, the red box and the green, sorry, the blue box and the green box are identical. The only difference is the blue box has interest rates at 5%, and then the green box interest rates are at 6%. Right, so it just shows you when the looking at the blue box, when interest rates go down to 5%, your bond is going to be worth 905. But when interest rates go up, the value of your bond goes down to 888. So inversely proportional. So hopefully that did not confuse you. Give me 1 second. Let's check the chat. Feel free to drop a comment if you'd like. It's also not too late to join. Not too late to join if you want to play at home. If not, that's cool. All right, true or false? All right, so this is about mortgages, which definitely not, I'd like to be more educated on real estate, but this is just a basic financial quiz. So a 15-year mortgage typically requires higher monthly payments than a 30-year mortgage, but the total interest over the life of the loan will be less. So true or false? You can just let you read the question. Once again, feel free to join the game if you'd like. The instructions are on the screen, and you can play the game either through your phone or on the desktop. True. All right, so let me give me 1 second. Let me just kind of show this to you. I kind of went the extra mile, and here we go. All right, so the question is basically comparing a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage. So going through some of these assumptions. So if we compare the left and the right side, everything is the same except this row that's highlighted, right? So this is saying your present value. So if you took out a mortgage for $200,000, right? The question is asking, it's basically saying, what is your monthly payment going to be if you have a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage, right? So this line right here, so 4% interest rate on your mortgage. So all you do is you do 4% divided by 12 because you're gonna make a payment on your mortgage once a month, and then 15 years. So if you pay your mortgage once a month for 15 years, that's 180 payments on the left side, or it's 360 payments on the right side, which is the 30-year mortgage. And so when you plug this bad boy into the formula, you're probably not going to even know what that is, but long story short, if you compare the two yellow highlights, if you have a 15-year mortgage, you're paying almost $1,500 a month, but the total cost of your mortgage is going to be less than had you done the 30-year mortgage. So you're paying more per month with your 15-year mortgage, but you're paying less per month with your 30-year mortgage. And then if you were to actually add everything up in the end, if you took out a 15, even though you're paying more per month for the 15-year mortgage, your total cost of your mortgage is about $266,000 versus $343,000. So it's a really big difference. I mean, you're paying. Let's see what the difference is. Here you go. So by doing a 30-year mortgage instead of a 15-year mortgage, you're paying about $77,000 more. So something, food for thought, something to think about. Let's get back to the game. Let's see if anyone dropped a message. All right, no messages yet. We will keep the game going. Give me 1 second. Someone just messaged me. All right, moving on. Let's keep this bad boy going. We got 5 questions remaining. All right, we had a true or false question. And it looks like that, the picture I found, it looks like that's a Robinhood app. So it looks like they're actually trading cryptocurrency. So I guess disregard the picture, but I thought it looked appropriate for the question. I just got logged out. Let's see. Buying a single company's stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. So we got true or false. A few more seconds. All right. I mean, so if you just have a general knowledge of what a mutual fund is, so when you buy one stock, you're putting all your eggs into one basket. So using like Tesla, for example, if you put all of your money into Tesla and then Tesla goes bankrupt overnight, which is not likely, but it could happen, then you just lost all of your money, right? Whereas with a mutual fund, you're essentially putting in money into this what's called a mutual fund, and you're pooling it together with other investors. And so there's an usually it's an active manager, so someone that's hired and their only job is to use that pool of money to invest in different types of securities, so stocks or bonds, and then whatever the proceeds are gets distributed back to the investors, and then the manager of that fund takes usually they take like a small percentage of for managing it. So that was a long way of saying that mutual funds have provide a safer return because you're not putting all your eggs into one basket. All right. Once again, it's not too late to join the stream. Not too late. Let's keep it going. And I'll let you read the picture. So I'm trying to manage my screen. I would like to be able to see the comment section. That way I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. All right, so this is the question that I actually got wrong. Um, so I wish I still had it on the screen, but basically it's asking how long before your money doubles, right? So you owe. I think the question was like you owe $1,000 and you're not going to make any payments on your loan. How many years will it take before that $1,000 turns into $2,000? So you owe 2,000, right? So we can look. This is the last Excel part that I have. So let's take a look here. So similar formula. So you have a $1,000 loan. You are not making any payments on that loan. The bank is charging you 20% annual interest, and it's asking how long before your 1,000 turns into the 2,000. So you owe $2,000. And so the answer, Excel, you can actually solve this. Um, Probably not interested in that, but it gives you an exact year. So it's going to take 3.8 years for your money to double. So, and this was just a check that I had to make sure I was right. So the takeaway from that question, this is something that I might have heard when I was younger, but I think I just completely forgot about it. But there's a thing called the rule of 72. 72, not 73. So the idea here is if you took 72 and divide it by whatever the interest rate is, it's going to give you a pretty close approximation of how many years it's going to take for your money to double. And so to kind of show you, so it'll be 72. I'll do this really quick. 72 and our interest rate is 20%. So 72 divided by 20%. And we want it to be as close to 3.8 as possible. 72 divided by 20%. I did something wrong. I think I just did something wrong. That doesn't look right. 72. Did I do something wrong? I think I did something wrong. Maybe I did it backwards. No, that's not right. All right, let me check my notes. 72 divided by 20%. All right, bear with me, folks. 72 maybe it's 20. Maybe that's why I'm getting this answer. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right answer. Okay. So that's the reason why I got it wrong. So when you input the number, you don't input it as a decimal. You have to input it as a whole number, not as a percentage. So it's 72 divided by 20. There. Equals 72 divided by 20. All right, so that was what I did wrong. So the rule of 72. So whatever your interest rate is, so in our case it's 20%. You take 72 divided by 20, and it should take approximately 3.6 years, assuming that you have a 20% annual interest rate, for your money to double. So the more you know. That was actually new. I didn't realize that myself. So cool to learn something new. All right, let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. All right, there's the scoreboard. Once again, if anyone wants to play, feel free. The directions are on the screen. And let's keep the game moving. All right, which two factors are most important when calculating your credit score? Yeah, so I actually did a video on this. Did a whole series actually. 4-part series. The last video is coming out hopefully not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. But yeah, what there's like a pie chart. What different factors affect your credit history? And we will find out here shortly. Yeah, so if you were to look at the pie chart, which I don't have in front of me right now, your payment history is 35%, is weighted 35% of your credit score. And then your amounts owed, I want to say, is 20%. I'd have to look at it again. But we will keep it moving. Yeah, those two are the most influential factors that affect your credit score. Keeping it moving. We got looks like three questions left. All right, this question, you're going to have to look at the picture. So if you carry over a balance on your credit card from one billing period to the next, when will interest charges begin on a new purchase? So this one I sort of guessed. I didn't really know the answer. like outright, but I kind of got it down between two of these answers. Boom, on the day of the purchase. Right. And then fun fact for everyone. So the interest they will begin charging immediately. So that's why that's the right answer. When it comes to your credit score, it's 29 days. So anything above 29 days, if you don't make that late payment, it's going to get reported to the credit bureaus, and your credit score will be affected. So even it's not the end of the world if you miss a payment, but if you do miss a payment, make sure you pay it off within 29 days. Otherwise, it's going to affect your credit score. Moving on, two questions. This one's weird. I wish you could actually move them around, but you cannot because this is just a picture. Rank the following list of investments from least risky to most risky. Oh, and it looks like I gave you an extra 30 seconds for this, just because I know it's probably hard to read. I know that light green font isn't the best, isn't the easiest to read. So the least risky investment to the most risky investment. Oh, and of course I don't have the answer. I wish the question would just stay up there. Yeah, so the kind of just going off my head, the least risky is going to be your treasury bills, and the idea behind that is you're basically invested in the government. But the idea is if the government were to default on paying you back, the worst case scenario is all they would have to do is raise taxes. That's why the treasury bills are considered risk free, because the government can just raise taxes whenever they want in order to pay back the debt that they owe their bondholders. And then I think the next one was like an index fund, so that's a basket of stocks, and then a mutual fund that only invests in tech. That's going to be a little more risky than the index fund. And then last but not least is if you were to invest in like your cousin Greg's startup, that's obviously going to be the most risky place you can put your money. So let's keep it moving. We are on the last question. Last question, everyone. All right. Which of the following best lists the items deducted from your income before you receive your paycheck? So everyone gets a paycheck. So the answer is literally listed on your paycheck right now. So and if you're self-employed, it might be a little bit different, but once again, if we have anyone new joining us, just want to welcome you. Hope you guys have a good Friday. We are doing some live trivia, And wrapping up this round, we are going to play a second round in a few. But let's finish up this round first. All right. So, yeah, if you were to look at your paycheck right now, the things that get deducted out of it before you receive it are your federal income tax, Social Security, Medicare, and then your state and local income taxes. Now, of course, if you filled out your W 4 and you elected not to pay taxes, not to have your taxes taken out, then your paycheck will be a little bit different. So when tax season comes around, you will be the one that actually has to, you owe the IRS money. So instead of receiving a tax refund, you actually have to pay the IRS. And I actually made a video about that and what some of the benefits are for owing money rather than receiving money. So we will we will end. So it looks like that's it. So what's gonna happen now is, so if anyone that's watching is new, my name is Mike. I run the Frugal Fam YouTube channel, and so what's gonna happen now is I'm really just trying to experiment with the audience, and I know some people are just getting off of work. So I'm gonna take a 10-minute break, and we are gonna play this again in about 10 minutes. So if you want to play again, you're more than welcome to. I'm gonna set a timer on the screen, and we can play again from the beginning in 10 minutes. And I'm hoping that more people will join, and then we can actually play together. So it might be fun. So give me 10 minutes, go grab a snack, and I will see you here shortly. Yo, what is happening, everybody? Hope everyone has a good Friday. My name is Mike. I hope everyone can hear me. We are going to get started very shortly. And if you've never played the game before, um, all you have to do is you can either use your phone or a desktop computer. And you go to this website, it's Kahoot. And so on a desktop, it'd be kahoot.it, or you can just find the app on your phone. It's a free app. And then all you have to do is input the number that is on the screen. And then you can play live trivia versus me. So give everybody maybe a few seconds to uh, to log in. And even after we start, you can still join the game. So even if you want to join late, that's fine. I will just give a brief intro. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mike. I make finance related topics about saving money, personal finance. A lot of my videos are scripted, and I know sometimes I sound pretty robotic in them. So I'm trying to do like a live stream every Friday just to kind of give a little personality to the channel. So for everyone watching, I just want to thank you for, taking time out of your Friday to join me. And if you're not subscribed yet to the channel, then be sure to subscribe. I try to release new videos every other Wednesday. So if you're not subscribed, please do so you don't miss out. And then these live trivia games, I'm going to do every Friday around this same time period. So if you like trivia and you like learning, I feel like these are kind of cool. It's a good way to interact with you guys, the audience, and hopefully learn something new in the process, and then kickstart a good weekend. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. And so I will say, so the way that I had these set up is the first 5 questions are basically like freebie questions. So they're not, the first 5 are very broad general questions. The actual finance questions will begin starting on question 6. So I feel like the first 5 are the fun ones, and then the boring financial ones come later. They come starting at question number 6. So feel free. Once again, it's not too late to play. All you have to do is follow the instructions that are on the screen in the pink box. So this is cool. I'm a big peanut M&M fan. The ones without peanuts are okay, but the peanut ones are the best. So what is the rarest M&M color? Yeah. And so the first 5 questions I'm going to get wrong on purpose, just so when we start the actual financial part, then we can start playing for real. Um, but yeah, these are kind of interesting to learn about. So yeah, the rarest color is brown. So fun. That's a fun fact for you guys. And these are cool because it gives you your score in between the rounds. So since I'm the only one playing, obviously my name is the only one that shows up. But if I was playing versus someone else, then your name would also pop up. So let's move on to question 2. What was the first soft drink in space? So you get to choose from one of the options in the picture on the screen. Yeah, and I think this really kind of shows my age. If you're watching this right now and you've never seen or heard about Surge, then you probably were born after 2000. Surge was a 90s drink, and probably I would equate that to Mountain Dew. So yeah, which of these sodas was the first drink in space? And yeah, so Coca-Cola was the answer for that one. Keep it moving. All right, next question. Yeah, and I should also say there is a few seconds lag in between the stream and YouTube. So I gave everyone some few extra seconds just so you have time to answer. Which country invented ice cream? Yeah, and so if I didn't already know the answer, I definitely would have guessed the U.S. But yeah, the first country to invent ice cream is actually China. So fun fact for you guys. Once again, it's not too late to join. All you got to do is follow the instructions in the pink box that is on the screen. Yeah, the first few questions are going to be general, and then once we hit question 6, we will dive into the financial part. From which country does Gouda cheese originate? Yeah, and it's weird. I feel like I've seen Gouda cheese before, but I've never seen it in the wheel form. That's on the picture. Yeah, it literally looks like a Pac-Man or like a Mrs. Pac-Man. And I wonder how much it weighs. Yeah, fun fact, Gouda cheese comes from the Netherlands. I did not know that. That is new information. I probably would have guessed New Zealand, but I also have no knowledge about cheese, so moving on. All right, so I'm the only one playing right now. Hopefully we get some more people that are interested. Feel free to feel free to drop a like, comment, say what's up in the comment section. Let's see what question is this. All right, so this is the last general question. So after this, we're gonna dive into the financial questions. Yeah, I think out of the first 5 questions, I feel like this is probably the only question I knew out of the first 5. So what is the only edible food that never goes bad? Yeah, and so I thought it'd be funny to throw in the McDonald's fries answer. You know, anyone who's ever, you know, pulled out a French fry from underneath their seat like years later, their car seat, you know, like those fries never go bad. And so you have to think like imagine putting that into your body, like that cannot be good for your body. But yeah, the answer is honey there, although I'm sure McDonald's fries would be a close second. All right, once again, so that was the last general question. Now we are going to dive into the financial questions. So we have 10 financial questions. And before I dive into it, if you're not familiar with how I do this, basically I just look up financial quizzes that are online. And so when I play this with you right now, I'm going to play like as if this is the first time playing. So even though I recreated the quiz, I did get a few of these wrong. So there is an opportunity to beat me, but you can only win if you play versus me. So, but it's not about winning; it's about learning and having a good time. So let's just jump right into it. First financial question, and this is basic finance, guys. So this is stuff that hopefully you should know about, and if you don't, that's okay because we're gonna talk about it on this channel. Suppose you have $100 in savings that earns 2% interest a year. So after 5 years, how much would you have? And so I'm actually gonna solve. I'll show you this in Excel. So this is the formula to solve for this, and hopefully, even if you don't know the exact answer, you should be able to guess. All right, so I think I like to equate this to like going out to eat lunch, right? So lunch or dinner. So you go to a restaurant. Let's say you have $100 tab. Most people struggle with trying to figure out, what to tip the waiter. So the easiest way that I do it is all you have to do is move the decimal place over one spot to the left. So 10% of a $100 restaurant bill, you just move it over one. 10% is $10, right? So if $10 is 10%, then what would 20% be? $20, right? So this is saying what is 1% of $100? So if 10% is $10, all you got to do is move the decimal place over one. So 1% is going to be $1. So this has 2%. So times two. A dollar times two is $2. 2% of $100 is $2. And so that after a year, your $100 is going to grow to $102. But this is saying after 5 years. So even if you don't know the math on this, you know that your money is going to be at least $102 or more. Or it's going to be more than $102. So let me try not to go on too much of a tangent, but let me just show you how to solve this real quick. All right. It's the old handy dandy Excel. All right, so this is the formula that I showed you in the picture. So this is saying you have $100 in savings. You get 2% a year. How much is it worth after 5 years? So, like I said, after 1 year, we should have $102. Yep. And the question was, is it going to be less than 102, exactly 102, or more than 102? So, after 5 years, using this fancy formula that's on the screen here, your $100 is going to grow to $110. So, kind of interesting. We will move it along though. All right, finally got some points on the board. Again, it's not too late to join. Feel free. All you got to do is follow the instructions that are on the screen in the pink box. So this is question 2 for financial trivia. And I'll let you guys read the question here, but it's basically comparing your savings rate versus your inflation rate. Yeah, a few more seconds. All right, so you have your inflation rate and your savings rate. So I'm pretty sure there's a formula for calculating your inflation rate, but you don't really need it for this question. So if you get 1% in savings per year, so your savings account grows by 1%, but the value of goods and services in the economy is also becoming more expensive by 2%, that means your money is not keeping up. The value of your money is not keeping up with the buying power in the economy. So the value of your money is going to be less. Hopefully, you guys got that. Some more points on the board. Let's keep it moving. All right, what do we got? Question number 8. If interest rates rise, what will typically happen to bond prices? So I did a video on this last week, I think was the trivia, where I talked about bond prices. So if you watch that, you should know this answer, but if you don't, then give it a guess and I will explain it when the timer runs out. I don't know if anyone has any big plans this weekend, but I have some Domino's pizza waiting downstairs for me, or as I like to call it, Domino's. All right, so bond prices are inversely proportional to interest rates, meaning that when one goes up, the other goes down. And so if I could show you this, I know this looks like an overwhelming a lot of information, but there's basically 2 identical scenarios. So there's your blue box and your green box. And so the formula that I used here is this white box, but the basic gist here is the blue box represents the bond prices when the interest rates are at 5%, and then the green box is the price of the bonds when interest rates are at 6%. So we can see when the interest rates are lower, your bond price is going to be about $905. And when your interest rates are higher, that 905 drops down to 888. So inversely proportional. I could probably go through the rest of this slide, but of this Excel, but probably don't want to hear about it. But yeah, just know that interest rates and bond prices move in opposite directions. And this formula explains why. Moving on. Frugal Fam is on fire. True or false? All right, so this is a useful question 'Cause I feel like at some point in everyone's life, you're going to be dabbling in the real estate market. So this might be a good question to learn more about. But you're basically comparing mortgage rates between a 15-year mortgage and a 30-year mortgage. Again, I would like to make a video about this at some point because I don't really have any real estate background. So this is something that I think will be interesting to learn about and research. A few more seconds. All right, so let's just dive right into Excel. So I think this is pretty helpful. So to start off, you have your 15-year mortgage on the left side and then your 30-year mortgage on the right side. So if you compare this if you compare the two boxes, the only difference is the number of periods that you're going to be paying your mortgage, right? So if you pay your mortgage once a month for 15 years, that means you're going to be paying 180 payments. Same with the 30-year mortgage. If you pay your mortgage once a month for 30 years, you're making 360 payments. So, given this fancy formula, you can actually solve for how much your monthly payment will be. So, assuming that you have a 4% annual rate on your mortgage, that means you're paying about 0.3% per month. And so that works out to a monthly payment of almost $1,500, right? And then conversely, if we were to make payments over 30 years, your monthly payment is only going to be 955, right? But what is very interesting here is if we look at the bottom, so let me back up. We took out a $200,000 mortgage, right? And so by making these payments at the end of our 15 years or 30 years, our mortgage will be paid off to zero, right? So we're starting out, took out a $200,000 mortgage, and then the goal is to get it down to zero. So at the end of 15 years, you would have paid in total $266,000. Likewise, your total cost of your mortgage after 30 years is $343,000. So even though you took out 200 grand, the overall cost of your mortgage is more because of interest, right? And so to kind of compare, so should you get a 30-year mortgage or should you get a 15-year mortgage? This is not financial advice, but looking at this line, you're paying almost $77,000 more by taking out a 30-year mortgage as opposed to a 15-year mortgage. So kind of interesting, but we're going to keep it moving. Just something to consider. And it's kind of interesting because I don't have a background in real estate, but it is interesting to kind of look at the financial side behind it. All right, moving on. Buying a single company's stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. Yeah, Friday night. Friday night is here. I appreciate everyone watching, and hope everyone has a good start to your weekend. I'm at the point where I can either go work out after this, or I could eat Domino's pizza. So it's tough. So I'm getting hangry. But I don't know. We'll figure something out. All right, a few more seconds. All right, so you're comparing buying a stock versus a mutual fund. So when you buy a stock, you're putting all of your eggs into one basket. So think of like Tesla, for example. If you put all of your money into Tesla and then the next day Tesla goes bankrupt, then you just lost all of your money, right? Whereas with a mutual fund offers diversification. So essentially you are pooling your money together with other investors, and then you have a manager who takes that money, invest it into different types of securities so they can buy stocks or bonds with it, and then whatever the proceeds are from that investment goes back to all the different investors. And then the manager who managed that fund gets to take a percentage as like a fee. So in terms of buying one stock versus a mutual fund, you are more diversified in a mutual fund. So that is going to give you a safer return. Let's keep it moving. All right, question 11. We have 4 questions remaining, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. All right, so this is the question I got wrong when I originally took this quiz, and we can go over it in a few seconds here. So how long is it going to take? Is it going to take your money to double? Basically, that's the overall gist of this question. All right, so yeah, like I said, this is the question I got wrong. So let's just jump into Excel. Hopefully, I can explain this. Yeah, so let's. Forgot that was there. All right, so we'll get into that in a second. But so you have a loan. So you took out $1,000 loan, right? And you have to pay a 20% annual interest rate on it per year, and you're not making any payments on it. And the question is asking how long is it going to take for your original $1,000 loan to accumulate to accumulate as much interest where it reaches the $2,000 mark. So how long before your loan goes from $1,000 to $2,000 in terms of how much you owe? So you're solving for n, right? And so yeah, I was trying to do some simple math in my head, and so I got the question wrong. I guess 5 to 9 years. My thinking on it was 20% of 1,000 is $200. So 200 times 5 would be 1,000. So that was kind of my logic. But if you actually solve it, we see that the answer is 3.8 years exactly. So there's actually a simpler way to solve this, and it's the law of 72. And so I don't know if I officially learned this. I'm sure I did, but I actually forgot about this. So the rule of 72 is essentially if you want to know how long it's going to take for your money to double, then you have to use this rule of 72. So what you do is you take 72 and then you divide it by your interest rate, which happens to be 20, right? And these have to be like values, so you can leave them as they are like this, or you can input them as decimals. But just make sure that these two match, right? So 72 divided by a 20% interest rate, 3.6 years approximately. So this rule is not perfect, but it does give you a pretty good estimation as to how many time frame, how many years it's going to take for your money to double. So using that logic, yeah, $1,000 will double in approximately 3.6 years. And then when we actually solve it, we can see that the exact answer is 3.8 years. So kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So let me just make a quick change here. Boom. All right. Let's get back into it. I think we have a few more questions left. Once again, feel free to join if you'd like. Still have about 4 questions left. What 2 factors are most important when calculating your credit score? Again, I made a whole series of videos of this, so a 4-part series of basically how your credit score works. So you can definitely check that out on my channel if you're interested. All right. So if you were to look at the pie chart, there's different factors. I think there's 5 different factors that affect your credit score. So your payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. So basic idea is make sure to pay your bills on time. And then amounts owed, so that comes down to your credit utilization. So how much so if you think of credit cards, how much credit card how much of your spending is on a let me rephrase this. So if you have a $20,000 credit limit, how much of that are you using? Right? So 10% of that would be 2,000. So if you're spending $2,000 a month and your limit was $20,000, then you would be spending 10% of your overall credit limit. So that's what credit utilization is. Also, that falls into the amounts owed. Once again, I made a video about it, so check that out if you're interested. All right, hey, it's not too late. Few more questions left, guys. So far, it's just me playing versus myself. Um, we have a few more questions. If you want to join the actual game, the directions are on the screen in the pink box. So all you have to do is go to the Kahoot app and type in the PIN number, and you can join the game. But let's keep it moving. All right, next question. If you carry over a balance on your credit card from one billing period to the next, when will interest charges begin on a new purchase? So once again, if you want to play, it's not too late. You can still join the game. Have about 3 questions left, and then the beginning of the weekend. Hope everyone's gonna have a good weekend. Not sure if anyone has any plans. Earlier, I mentioned that I have Domino's pizza waiting for me. Domino's. So I have some fancy Italian meal waiting for me downstairs. That's pretty much my weekend right there. All right. So this is about like your late payments on your credit card. So yeah, if you miss your payment and then it goes to the next billing cycle on your next purchase, that is when they start accruing interest on your account. So one thing I just want to mention with this, and not this is something I didn't really know until I researched it, but so your interest is one thing, so you will be charged interest immediately, which is why that's the correct answer. When it comes to affecting your credit score is a little bit different. So the rule for credit scores is 30 days. So as long as you pay off your credit card debt in less than 30 days, so 29 days or less, then it does not get sent to the credit bureaus, meaning that it's not going to affect your credit score. But if it takes longer than 29 days for you to pay off your credit card bill, then it is in fact going to affect your credit score. So something interesting. I wasn't really aware of that until I did some research on it, but the more you know. All right, we're down to two questions. Two questions, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so this one I gave you a little extra time because I know it might be difficult to read the screen. I know that light green font is probably not the best font. But the idea here is you're going to rank these in order from least risky to the most risky. So most risky is going to be on the bottom. Once again, not too late to join. Anyone anyone have any big weekend plans going on? And nothing crazy going on for my weekend. Um pretty low key, but yeah, so that was the right answer. I know it's confusing because the picture is gone now, but yeah, your most let's do this in order. So your least risky is going to be investing in treasury bonds. So the government is issuing bonds. So it's called debt financing. So they're trying to raise money to build a bridge. So they reach out to Frugal Fam. They're like, "Hey, can we borrow you money? We promise to give you your money back, and then we'll give you some interest on top of that." And so that would be like a treasury bond. And the reason that would be considered least risky is because unlike a company, if a company goes bankrupt, then the company's gone, right? The government really, in theory, can't go bankrupt because worst case scenario, to pay back their investors, they can just raise taxes. So that's why treasury bills are considered the risk-free rate. And so above that, or I guess below that, the next least risky investment would be your index funds. So it's a instead of buying one company, you're buying a basket of companies. And then under that is your mutual fund. So in the example, the mutual fund only was weighted towards tech companies. So that's still going to be diversified, but it's only going to be in the tech industry. So that's why it's below the index fund. And then last but not least is we'll use like your cousin Greg as an example. So if your cousin Greg wants to start up like a t-shirt company, that's going to be obviously way more risky than investing in an index fund. So that's why your cousin Greg asking you for money is going to be at the bottom of the list. So we will keep it moving. I believe there is one question left. Got some more points on the board. Once again, not too late to join, but we will keep it moving because I got Domino's Pizza waiting downstairs. Which of the following best lists the item deducted from your income before you receive your paycheck? So, this one, if you don't know the answer, you could probably just cheat real quick and look up, I guess go grab your pay stub, and it tells you right on your pay stub. Anyone have any crazy plans this weekend? I know last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, so I know that was pretty big for the restaurant industry and probably other businesses. Seems like that's when people start going out for like the season. Boom. Yeah, so if you just look in your pay stub, it tells you the money that they take out. The exception to this, and I actually made a video about this on my YouTube channel, but if you have a W 4 and you elect to not have your employer take out these items, you can do that, but that means that when it comes time for tax season, instead of getting a tax refund, you actually owe the IRS money, which sounds bad, but it's actually really good because when you get a refund, you are giving the government an interest-free loan, basically. So I would rather get more, keep more of my money in my paycheck, and then I can invest that amount, and then I'll owe the IRS money when it comes for tax season, right? Because I would rather not give them an interest free loan. And be sure there's a video on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. Um, yeah, gives you more information. But I think that's the last one. Let's see. Yeah, so if you've never used the Kahoot app, it does this like virtual podium thing at the end. Um, yeah, unfortunately, I was the only one playing this game, so it's just gonna be me up there. But yeah, the goal. So my overall goal. First off, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss out on anything. I do this every Friday. The main goal here is to build up the channel. So a lot of my videos are scripted, so sometimes they can get kind of robotic. And so I feel like having a live stream like this, it adds, some more personality to the channel. So, yeah, every Friday 4 p.m., I'm going to be doing stuff like this. I feel like it's a good way to start the weekend off, Trivia's fun, it's supposed to be entertaining, but it's also cool to learn something new. So, it's kind of my idea is interact with you guys, the audience, start the weekend off strong, learn something new, and of course, eat Domino's pizza. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't miss out because we do this every Friday at 4 p.m. So thank you all for listening and watching, taking time out of your day. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Peace.